Hello, and welcome to my series on finding the most popular man. So here I just talk about this most popular man, Jesus, and what I found about him, as recorded by this man called Matthew. Um, what are some teachings I get from whatever is written about him, and all of those stuff. So my name is Dari. Like I said, I'm just another person like you. So last time, you know, talked about how the drama surrounding the conception of this man, how he was conceived by a lady that claimed to be a virgin, and then the angel of God appearing to his husband to be Joseph, asking him to take the young lady as his wife because the baby she conceived, yes, was through the power of the Holy Spirit. I remember I said later on, we'll be able to find what this spirit actually does and how it could possibly make someone conceive, right? Okay, so let's continue. And when Joseph woke up, he did as the angel of the Lord commanded and took Mary as his wife. That's obedience. Right? Um, but he did not have sexual relationships with her until her son was born, and Joseph named him Jesus. Again, Joseph being a good man, we established the last time he's a good man, was a good man, uh, didn't want to embarrass Mary. And now he got a message from an angel. And what did he do? He desist from having sexual relationships with the young lady. That's to me, there is what we would call, that to me, there is what we would call the self-discipline. Yeah. So I think Joseph is not just a good man, he's a good man because he has self-discipline also. I mean, how do you explain that you have someone that has been betrothed, pregnant, and then you were unable to have sexual relationships with her? So I think that should teach us to have some level of self-discipline also, especially for unmarried folks. Um, okay, and then finally, this man was born, Jesus, and then Joseph named him Jesus. Remember, he was also supposed to be named Emmanuel also. That means God with us. And then, so the story continues. Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea during the reign of King Herod. About this time, some wise men from eastern lands arrived in Jerusalem asking, "Where is the newborn king of the Jews? We saw his star as it rose, and we have come to worship him." So some few set of people came, three of them, and said, "We saw a star somewhere in the east," because they are from the east. And then they said they came around to Bethlehem then and said, "We are looking for a new king that has been born because we saw a star." Apparently, I can imagine that those people are astrologers, right? Because for you to be able to read stars and all of those stuff, it means you must be an astrologer. Right? So astrologers, they got the message that something significant happened, of course, because in some certain tribes in Africa, they say you can check the stars of a child when the child is born. Um, but these people didn't have to, they had to just do some study. And that should help us to understand also that studying is good, right? Growing technical ability is good because these people grew their technical ability to be able to study the stars as an astrologer. An ordinary person can't do that. So it tells us to also grow our capacity, grow your skill, right? So let's continue. They came and then asking around, "Where is the newborn king of the Jews? We saw a star and we have come to worship him." Okay. King Herod was deeply disturbed when he heard this, as everyone was in Jerusalem. So it's okay. I mean, these astrologers, wise three men, came in and were asking around, "Where is the new king that was born? We want to worship him." I mean, there is a king already in Bethlehem, in Jerusalem. Why are you coming to ask for other kings? I mean, isn't that like you are coming to cause trouble for that new king that has been born? No king wants a competition. There can be only one king in the city. And here you are saying a new king has been born. What? If I were to be Herod, I will be very angry. I'll be very disturbed. In fact, that child life is at risk. So again, I think one thing about these astrologers is even though they have been able to develop their technical capacity, they are able to develop their skills. I think one thing that should have helped them here is if they have been able to maybe develop their communication skills, and that should also help us, because how do you just come in and you say, I found a star up there, and you are going around telling the king, even including the king, to know that there is a new king in town. That's competitive. That's like you are telling Coca-Cola about big cooler, right? You want to wipe up that generation. That's what it just means, right? You are telling a bigger competitor that a smaller competitor has been done. It's just to go there and crush the competitor out. Like, you have the fund, you have the resources, you have everything. Crush him out, right? So I think communication skill is what is lacking here, right? And that should tell us that apart from even developing your technical abilities, no matter the job you do, right? Communication skill is very important. If I soft skills, are you an engineer? Um, are you a software developer? You function in the IT space like I do? Um, Whatever it is you do, it is important to grow that communication skill. By your words, you'll be saved. By your word, you will put in bondage, right? The same word that can save you can mar you. The tongue is a very, very small instrument in the body. However, it has the capacity to ruin somebody else. So how you communicate matters, not just in words, your body language, your gestures, how you do all of those things. In fact, there's been a whole lot of research on communication, cross-cultural communication, or yes, cross-cultural communication and all of those stuff. So I wish that the wise men have taken those courses. They would have been better for it. But then let's read on. So King Herod was deeply disturbed when he had this, as everyone was in Jerusalem. He called a meeting of the leaders, leading priests and teachers of religious law, and asked, where is the Messiah supposed to be born? Of course, like I said, I would have done the same thing. He had to call internal meeting that, where is this Messiah born? Because these wise men kept talk, and I think the wise men would have been very influential or something. Or maybe Herod was just curious to see, let me see how this will end before I deal with these wise men that came to deliver this kind of news, right? They are not even scared. So Herod asked, and then he got a response. The Bethlehem in Judea, they said, but this is what the prophet wrote. So they are telling Herod now that, yes, so we have a brief idea that a king has been born, or a child was born due to our own findings. And of course, this would have had some astrologers around to do that. And they said, yes, we found that it was born in the Bethlehem of Judea. But then we can only say based on the prophecy that has been written. Again, prophecy, because it was recorded. Then in those days, I believe in this Israel thing and all of those, their Jerusalem thing, they take records of prophecies, right? And that should also tell us, keep records of your life, right? Keep track of your business processes, do documentation. It is very, very important so that you can replicate success, right? So that you can have visibility of what is going on. You can measure your success with documentation, write the vision, make it plain, so that whoever sees it wants to run with it, right? It is very, very important to do that. So they were able to deduce that a prophecy has gone out. And then they said, the prophecy says, and you, O Bethlehem, in the land of Judea, are not least among the ruling cities of Judea, for a ruler will come from you, who will be the shepherd for my people. That is interesting. I mean, the prophecy in entirety is interesting, but then if you look at the prophecy, how they were able to deduce that, oh, okay, we are talking about the king that will be born in Bethlehem. They said, the prophecy said a king will be born, right? A ruler will be born from Bethlehem. And the reason is because Bethlehem is a small city, right? It is inconsequential in quotes now when it comes to size, when it comes to influence. But then the prophecy says from that town that you think there's no influence, a king is going to be born, right? So they were able to deduce that that is why they would believe that what these wise men are saying is true. Now, one thing from there is this. Bethlehem, like we said, is a small city. So does that mean that, or can we also say that for somebody like you and I, right, we can look around us and look at what we have as the small city of our own Bethlehem, right? That location you have that you think there is no opportunity there, everything is so dry, it's a slum, it's a ghetto, it's anything you can think of. It's too quiet, it's too noisy, and you think you can't function here, or you think that your capacity here does not actually tally. Can we learn something from this prophecy that that small location could just be your own springboard to launch into the world? Can we learn from this prophecy that that small location that you have there could just be where you need to start from, right? Like we say, don't underestimate the days of little beginning. Could that location be your own little beginning? Could that one room apartment you are staying be your little beginning? Could that squatting you are squatting with a friend, could it be your own little beginning that all just you need to do is to just build your capacity from there and you start influencing the world from there? I mean, there are stories and stories upon stories of men that started so little and then they grew up to become big, right? Talk of the Apples that started from the garage, talk of the Microsoft, talk of anything, 3C, 3Ms, talk about them, a lot of them that they don't even know what to do, right? There's this book about built to last, yeah, by James Philip or something that talked about how businesses started, right? The 3Ms, quite a number of businesses like that, that they even started without even knowing what to do. That is their own small Bethlehem. From their garage, from their rooms, from the back of their car, their bonnets, their boots, rather. They started their business. So could that be what this is telling us here, that we also can start from somewhere? Are you selling that wares in a small truck by the roadside? That could just be your own Bethlehem where you're starting from. It doesn't mean that you won't grow from there. In fact, it might just mean you are growing from there so that you can have a story to tell also. And we can also tell about you that a story has been written about you that you will start small and grow people. So don't try to get everything figured out. Bethlehem is just very inconsequential. Oh man, let's continue. So a ruler came out from Bethlehem. You can't be the ruler that comes out of Bethlehem. Even your workplace, it could just be a very small one and you are targeting to work for Microsoft or whatever. Start from that no-name business and grow it. I mean, who starts building from the top? Let's start from here. Who starts building from the top, the roof down? No, it's not. You start from the foundation up, and the foundation can be, in fact, the foundation starts from one block or one portion, and then the second, and then you lay, and you grow up. So try not to get it figured out. That's what I just have to say there. Then Herod called for a private meeting with the wise men, and he learned from them the time when the star first appeared. Wow. Okay, so we'll continue from here again next time, how what Herod did after he learned when the time appeared, how did the wise men eventually, what did they do after, right? Now that they have cast everything, they opened the can of worms to Herod. So we'll continue that later on. For now, if you think this actually is helping you, it's also putting value and helping you to also find out some things, right? Like for me, it's not just about this man anymore. It's about some of these things that I'm able to apply to myself, right? So if you think it's able to do that, please come back to watch this video again. We'll continue from here. It's a long one. We'll continue from here as much as possible. So for now, bye.